Okay, so we're in Zenith 2016. We are on page 2015. We're going to read that again about the singularity. So, crazy or not, Kaczynski may be right in that man's demise at the hand of machines will happen gradually, during which time we humans will become the proverbial frogs in the kettle set to boil. On the other hand, we are more likely to be reduced any day now, in the blink of an enhanced eye, to the status of domestic animals in the minds of artificial intelligence, as technological singularity, that magical future moment that many futurists and tech experts believe could be imminent, gives birth overnight to some version of the Artilects who suddenly come online as conscious, living superminds, immensely more powerful than human beings. As a metaphor for mind-boggling social change, the singularity has been borrowed from math and physics, writes Joel Guru in Radical Evolution. In those realms, singularities are the point where everything stops making sense. In math, it is a point where you are dividing through by zero, and in physics, it is black holes, points in space so dense that even light cannot escape their horrible gravity. If you were to approach one in a spaceship, you would find that even the laws of physics no longer seemed to function. That's when a singularity is like Ray Kurzweil, who is credited with groundbreaking work in artificial intelligence and is, among other things, the co-founder of an interdisciplinary graduate studies program backed by NASA people. NASA, known as the Singularity University, appreciates the comparison between the coming technological singularity and the physics of black holes. Just as a black hole in space dramatically alerts the patterns of matter and energy accelerating towards its event horizon, the impending singularity in our future is a period during which the pace of technological change will be so rapid, its impact so deep, that human life will be irreversibly transformed. The key idea underlining the impending singularity is that the rate of change of our human-created technology is accelerating, and its powers are expanding at an exponential pace. Exponential growth is deceptive. It starts out almost imperceptibly, and then explodes with unexpected fury. In plain language, Abu Farman says Kurzweil's work on the singularity analyzes the curve of technological development from humble flint knapping to the zippy microchip. The curve he draws rises exponentially, and we are sitting right on the elbow, which means very suddenly this trend toward smaller and smarter technologies will yield greater than human-machine intelligence. That sort of superintelligence will proliferate not by self-replication, but by building other agents with even greater intelligence than itself, which will in turn build more superior agents. The result will be an intelligence explosion so fast and so vast that the laws and certainties with which we are familiar will no longer apply. That event horizon is called the singularity. It's like I told you when in the other video, once it hits, it hits. Just like the Big Bang Theory, there was nothing, then poof, there was something, and singularity is going to be the same thing. Here we are walking around in our own lives, we're human beings, everything's cool. Next thing you know, poof, we wake up and our computer is talking to us and telling us what we need to do with our lives. Alright, Cindy, you're so fat, get up and give me 20. Now get down and give me 20. Now roll over and do this. And I don't want to see you eating any ice cream. I'll be like, no ice cream. None. Not a little bitty bit. Not even a bite. Nope. None. You don't get anything. And then if you turn it off, what's going to happen? The drones are going to come to your house, and they're going to be pulling all the food out of your cupboard that you're not supposed to eat, and everybody's going to be regulated to a certain thing. Oh, wait. Does this sound like the World Economic Forum? That's what they want to do. They want to be all up in your grill. In your grill over here, and then the other one in the back of your yard. They want to know what you're eating, and they don't want you to eat anything they don't want you to eat, because Bill Gates is all up about crickets and roaches. He wants to have that kind of meat for everybody. We got to stop these people. This is evil, wicked, disgusting. Yes, we're fat, but they need to stop putting corn syrup in everything. That's all I got to say. No, it's not true. I know. I'm working on it. There's this stuff called Thrive that I used to take that really worked really well, but it's so expensive. It's $200 a month. You know, I live in a trailer park. I can't afford $200 a month just to keep my health right. I can get it like once every 6 months or something. I can maybe throw out $200 for that stuff. You know what I mean? All right, enough about me. 217. Zenith 2016. Some scary stuff, my friends. Some scary stuff. We need to work out how we're going to survive this. We're going to be those people in the Matrix that live in some kind of secret place and don't let the machines get us. Kurzweil elaborates further on what singularity will mean. Our version 1.0 biological bodies are frail and subject to a myriad of failure modes. Yeah, that's true, especially when we get older, because that death curse is on us. The singularity will allow us to transcend these limitations. We will gain power over our fates. Our mortality will be in our own hands, and the non-biological portion of our intelligence will be trillions of times more powerful than unaided human intelligence. And this is where we go, where we're going to be, is it be uploading or downloading into a machine chip? I guess we'll be uploading into a machine chip. Our chips in our brain that they want to implant in us, take all of our information, suck it out of us, stick it in a tiny little chip in a machine, you know, and then boom, Cindy's still here. No, because it may get all this stuff out of there, but the soul is going to go somewhere else. So you'll be talking to an artificial Cindy. You will be. Okay, so we are now in the early stages of this transition. The acceleration of paradigm shift, as well as the exponential growth of the capacity of information technology, are both beginning to reach the knee of the curve, which is the stage at which an exponential trend becomes noticeable. Shortly after this stage, the trend becomes explosive. Soon, the growth rates of our technology will be indistinguishable from ourselves, will be so steep as to appear essentially vertical. Oh my goodness. That at least will be the perspective of the unenhanced biological unenhanced biological humanity. I can really, see that happening where people these are crazy people right now that they're transgenderism stuff for their own babies because they don't want a boy, they want a girl, so they change them into a girl, or they don't want a girl, they want a boy, so they change them into a boy. And I can see this now where some people that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo, you know what? I'm going to make my baby into a cyborg. And then they start putting all these tubes and mechanisms and new eyes and new brain thing in their brain and all these things that, whatever. And then they also do that to human males where they want them to be super soldiers, and they put all these weaponized arms on them and claws and things that shoot out from their bodies and grab victims or whatever, telescopes on their eyes. And those are going to be the enhanced biological humans, and we'll be the normies, will be the ones that are just not enhanced. And so there's going to be this great divide between the two. We're going to be over there calling, this ain't normal, this ain't good, don't do that to your bodies, But then we're going to have all these problems with colleges and stuff, and they're going to want the superhuman kids with the computer brains instead of the normal kids that don't have any of that enhancement. And those, that's another great divide between rich and poor, etc., and religious people and non-religious, etc., etc. It's going to be so awful. And it's so awful. And flying cars are coming. Let me just say, I am so sad that I'm not going to I'll probably be too old by the time flying car lessons are going to be available. I don't know, maybe I won't, but I know that's coming. The singularity will represent the culmination of the merger of biological thinking and existence with our technology, resulting in a world that transcends our biological roots. There will be no distinction post-singularity between human and machine. Us normies are going to look really stupid to these people that get all these gadgets and stuff in them. Whew. I can imagine the looks we'll get. Oh, you're a normie. You don't have anything. And please compute this. Oh, you can't. Haha, you cannot. You do not have a processor in your brain. Yes, I do. It's just not processing like a freaking computer. It is a computer. We are, the brain is like a computer. It has two hemispheres, etc. But, we're talking massively different ways of thinking and computing with these things that Elon Musk is wanting to put in our brains, and all these other people that work in cybernetics, that they're all working together, that they're like, Elon Musk is like, we need to slow down. They're like, we can't slow down. We need to slow down. No, we can't slow down. And they're still working on it. Because why? Because money. That's why. The God of this world is money, 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 money. End of the things. In 1993, I'll get this, 1993, way back when, 1993, critical thinking about the timing of the singularity concerning the emergence of strong artificial intelligence led retired San Diego State University professor and computer scientist Vernor Vinge, or Vinge, V-I-N-G-E, Vinge, or Vinge, in his often quoted and now famous lecture, The Coming Technological Singularity, delivered at Vision 21 Symposium, sponsored by NASA Lewis Research Center and the Ohio Aerospace Institute. So if you're interested, look that up. I wonder if they have a video on that. I haven't checked. I saw that earlier and I thought, check that out. But I've been so busy with all this other stuff. So, The Coming Technological Singularity, delivered at Vision 1 Symposium, sponsored by NASA Lewis Research Center and the Ohio Aerospace Institute. To add that when science achieves the technological means to create superhuman intelligence, shortly after the human era will be ended. Shortly after that, the human era will be ended. What is that going to look like? I thought transgenderism was part of, which it is, stopping humans from being born because, they're making them all sterile. They'll never have any babies or anything. Unless they keep their body parts and just call themselves woman and male, whatever. Then this child will be so confused because they'll have a man-looking thing that's breastfeeding them. In contrast to Vinge's cyborgist-like Kevin Warwick, Professor of cybernetics at Reading University in England, who endorsed Degaris book, I hate that word, who endorsed Degaris's book, Believe singularity will not so much represent the end of the human era as it will the assimilation of man with machine intelligence. Remember the Borg would say, you will be assimilated, you will be assimilated. Like I said, they tell you what they're doing in movies and shows, and they tout it as science fiction. It's actually nonfiction. And these Borg people, they're crazy because they're trying to assimilate all the species and everything, different species into their bodies to try to come up with the most perfect human. They've gone cuckoo. They're cuckoo. Well, he even says, like the Borg of Star Trek fame. Yeah, I forgot about that part. This is because, according to Warwick, technological singularity will not occur as a result of freestanding independent machines, but inside human cyborgs, where human-machine integration is realized and enhanced biology is recombined to include living brains that are cybernetic, machine-readable, and interface with artificial neural networks, where transhumans with amplified intelligence become so completely superior to their biological counterparts, normal humans, as normies, as to be incomprehensible. Ultimately, post-human. The technology to accomplish this task is already well underway. It's well underway, and this is 2016. It's been well underway. I think if I read it right before, I think they said 2010. Yeah, 2010. There was a State of the Future report 2010. So it had been way before that because we knew that robots were happening. But okay, so well underway, because I can get into my days and I start just thinking about things. Y'all gotta yell at me, say, hey, come back here. What are you doing? Okay. So the technology to accomplish this task is already well underway and is considered by researchers like Warwick to be one of the most important scientific utilities currently under employment toward man's post-human future. Post-human means after human, like postpartum, post-human. As a result of this bridge between technology and human biology being attained this century, nothing less than the wholesale redesign of humans, which we've already seen that happening once they cracked our genome, our DNA. Now they say they can take out those things in our DNA that make us have bad things like asthma or scoliosis or anything like that. Could take that out, and then they can add attributes like if they wanted their baby to have blue eyes or be black. If you're white and you wanted a black baby, you could actually change your DNA to make you have a tan baby or a brown baby. Or if you wanted a white baby, you could have a white baby or whatever. Or change their eyes and make them look more Chinese. Anybody could have any kind of baby they wanted, because all of the DNA is there to tinker with. And I find that very fascinating. And again, just because a human being can do this, does it make it right? And should they? I can understand not allowing diseases to become a reality in that human being. But when you change the makeup completely of the human being, I mean, the designer babies are born. Designer babies. So being attained this century, nothing less than the wholesale redesign of humans, including genetic integration with other life forms. Genetic integration with other life forms. Did you hear that part? Genetic integration with other life forms, plants, animals, and synthetic creations will be realized. Do we really want this? Is that really our next stage of evolution? Pushing it? Integrating with other life forms and synthetic life forms? Synthetic creations? They're already putting the skin of humans on the sex robots. So yeah, all this other stuff, like there's this one show called Lex, if you've ever seen it. Yes, I am a sci-fi buff. I love this sci-fi. But there's one called Lex, and the actual ship is organic. It's biological. It's a little bit of human biology, a little bit of plant biology, a little bit of animal biology, the whole thing. And this thing is like a creature that can hold people inside, like a spacecraft, and it can go out into the universe. It's a very good show. Enjoyed it. But the thought that we are actually doing that, I mean, that's scary, because you have actually a human brain inside of a ship, and it's, moving and doing and being. I don't know, would that be torture for a creature to be half human and not fully a cat, not fully a dog, not fully a tiger, not fully a wolf, not fully a anything, but you have human? Does it make them insane? I think it kind of would. I don't know. No. Even my half-breed babies, and I'm not fully Hispanic or fully Native American or fully Spaniard. I'm not any of that. I'm a mutt. But even my half-breed babies, they, they're all half white. One's half black, and well, one of them is full-blood white because I adopted her, but the others are half. And it's so strange to me how they all have issues with being halflings. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I guess it's something to do with today. They all have an issue with that, Blows my mind. I mean, would something that is actually half human, half animal have a problem with that? I kind of think so. I kind of think they would, because they're so outside of the norm. I mean, I don't know. Your thoughts? What do you think? I think it would be kind of scared, I would think. And some of these creatures that they created were not viable. They only lived for a short time and they died. There was a half human, half frog, half human, half pig. I know there's a lot that were viable. We don't get to see those. We only see the ones that were not, right? Right? Is that true? Or are these things that are actually out in the world right now that they're calling supernatural beings, are these actually the experiments, that have been let loose into nature? I don't know, something to think about. Let me know what you think, or if there's any book on that, So, including genetic integration with other life forms, plants, animals, synthetic creations will be realized. There's that movie Batman as well. I mean, that lady, Ivory, I think her name is. She's half plant, half human. We all know how that ended, right? This vision, the Borgification, the marriage between biology and machine of man, is supported in the latest State of the Future report 2010 by the global think tank, the Millennium Project, founded after a 3-year feasibility study with the United Nations University Smithsonian Institute. And the Futures Group International, where synthetic biologists affirm that as computer code is written to create software to augment human capabilities, so too genetic code will be written to create life forms to augment civilization. I've seen a lot in my 54 years. My mother and I were talking about this today, that she's seen a lot in her 75 years, And it just blows her mind how much she's watched civilization change and the new things that have come into being, computers and all of that. She likes her little computer, but she doesn't understand it completely. And I understand it a little better than her, but my kids even understand it better than I do. And I took computer classes. It just, some of it was just a little, little bells and whistles. Sometimes I forget how these things go, and my kids help me. So, genetic code will be written to create life forms to augment civilization. Furthermore, as biotech, infotech, nanotech, and cognotech breakthroughs quickly migrate with appropriate synergies to create widespread man-machine adaptation within society, a global collective intelligence system, a hive supermind, oh my lord, will be needed to track all these science and technology advances. We are Borg. You will be assimilated. And on that show Star Trek, when they were talking, some of the victims of the Borg would go, they would be dragging them into the ship, and they would be kicking and screaming, because this is a complete loss of freedom, people. Complete loss. You are now part of the collective. It's a complete loss of freedom. You are now a drone with the hive mind telling you everything that you should do, when to do it, how to do it, and then they would take all these species and they would mutilate their bodies and transform them into half human, half machine. Not biologically, but by force. And I don't know if a machine can be born, but they are making robots or androids or whatever you want to call them, Artilex, that have wombs. So is it possible for a baby robot to be born? Or are these wombs simply for as a surrogate mother? Because that's one of the things that they're calling it, as a surrogate. But this womb inside this machine has to be able to be sustainable, and it will be a technological as well as a biological womb. What does that mean for the species that will be born from this thing? Seriously. I mean, and I know that some of you may not have even thought of this, but I constantly skim, research, read, finding out these things, and my husband is like, what? Where are you finding this stuff? I said, the more I look, and this is the Google algorithm or whatever, the more you look, the more you find, the more it presents to you. If you are a digger, it will pull stuff up that you never imagined. And I just am floored by it, honestly. Amazing technology. I love the GPS, and I love the computer technology. I think it is amazing, and I love it because it gives me information quicker than I can read, but I still love reading, and I still adhere to, you must read a lot. Read, because it helps your brain to stay well. And hopefully I'd never get Alzheimer's or dementia or anything like that. And I try to eat a lot of walnuts and blueberries. And anything that is brain food is very important. You've got to, especially these days. You don't want to end up in a nursing home, my friends. I mean, if you're old like me, like 54 or older, and you're still, humming along and your brain is still working as decently as it can. I mean, mine has some glitches here and there, but I just keep trying to feed it and make it better. And, but I say, keep reading, Alright, so global collective intelligence system, hive mind, will be needed to track all these science and technology advances. The report goes on to say, I, Tom, have personally debated leading transhumanists, Dr. James Hughes, concerning this inevitable technosapien. Listen to that word, technosapiens. We're Homo sapiens, now we're going to be technosapiens. And I betcha that most of the technosapiens are going to be androgynous. Maybe. I don't know. Could be wrong on that one. But I mean, it's a possibility. Why not? What are the repercussions of this? What are the repercussions of being a technosapien? So Dr. James Hughes, concerning this inevitable technosapien future, on his weekly syndicated talk show, Change Surfer Radio. I need to find that. Change Surfer Radio. Hughes is executive director of the Institute of Ethics and Emerging Technologies and teaches at Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut. He is the author of Citizen Cyborg: Why Democratic Societies Must Respond to the Redesigned Human of the Future. Citizen Cyborg: Why Democratic Societies Must Respond to the Redesigned Human of the Future. A sort of Bible for transhumanist values. What kind of values does a transhuman have? They're already thinking of everything, even the laws, people, even the laws for, like, say you have a trans species that turns out to be a homicidal maniac and is going into people's homes and killing them. They want to know what the laws will be for that kind of species. And then how do we put away species like that? Are they put down like animals because they are, human and animal species? Are they imprisoned like a human? Can you keep a trans species human locked in a cage like a tiger at the zoo? I can see all kinds of problems with that. As soon as you let them out for lunch, you go destroy everybody. They go just mow down all the guards. Because it's a mind game up there. You're going to have a lot more humans than just, 8 guards for 500 people. A trans-human species cross? What kind of world are we going to be living in? I wonder. But knowing myself and how I am, even though it's hard living on the planet with all the stuff that's going on right now, I know that if I came to Earth, I probably wanted to see it all the way through. I want to see the end of whatever it is that I'm in, the society that I'm in, which is really scary because that means I wanted to see what the end of humanity looked like. That's not good because that means I get to see it, and now I'm a human being. I'm like, maybe in my spiritual self I could handle it, but in my human self, oh my goodness, that's going to tear me up. It's already doing a good job doing that, I feel like I've aged 20 years watching the Biden administration destroy America. And just being a little person, a little woman, a little big woman, okay, around, so what? But just being this person that doesn't have any power to change anything, it's very frustrating. So I just do this because this way we can understand what happened, where we're at, where we're going, what's going to happen, what can we do to prepare ourselves to maybe have to, live a certain way to handle living in a world that is full of this kind of evil. It's just evil, my friends. It's evil. I mean, it's going to be amazing to have a robot that cleans my house. It's going to be great. I love it. But at the same time, I have my little Roomba carpet cleaner thing. I love that thing. But, but when it comes to the transhumanism, it's just... that's some scary stuff, people. Scary. Okay, so he is the author of Citizen Borg. I'm going to try to find that book. Why Democratic Societies Must Respond to the Redesigned Human of the Future, a sort of Bible for transhumanist values. Dr. Hughes joins a growing body of academics, biothesists, and sociologists. Why does that word always get me? Sociologists who support large-scale genetic and neurological engineering. They support, please hear this, they support large-scale genetic and neurological engineering of ourselves. A new chapter in evolution as a result of accelerating developments in the fields of genomics, stem cell research, genetic enhancement, germline engineering, neuropharmacology, artificial intelligence, robotics, pattern recognition technologies, and nanotechnology. So scary. They're doing this to eggs, cells, human beings. Still getting me after I read it. This is the second time I'm reading it. It still gets me. Large-scale genetic and neurological engineering of ourselves. I'm reading this again because it's so important. A new chapter in evolution as the result of accelerating developments. Okay, y'all don't know it, but I took a really big pause because I'm in the middle of cooking too. Just realized it's 5 o'clock and haven't eaten anything. Believe it or not. Okay, so where we were was page 219 of Zenith 2016. And we were talking about the large-scale genetic and neurological engineering of ourselves, a new chapter in evolution, as a result of accelerating developments in the fields of genomics, stem cell research, genetic enhancement, germline engineering, neuropharmacological, artificial intelligence, robotics, pattern recognition technologies, and nanotechnology at the intersection of science and religion, which has begun to question what it means to be human. And that's just scary stuff, man. So let's see. So if you're not familiar with the Borg, check out Star Trek and the Borg and what they are and how that might translate into what may be coming next. And we think this is all going to, take a lot of time, but I don't think it's going to take that much time once that singularity happens. Now that I understand what the singularity is, I kept asking people, what is the singularity? What is the singularity? No one really understood. And finally got around to figuring it out. So, though the transformation of man to this post-human condition is in its fledgling state, this is 2016, Homo sapiens as the dominant life form on Earth is approaching Kurzweil's exponential curve. A Reuters article dated November 9th, 2009, titled "Scientists Want Debate on Animals with Human Genes." Do we really have to debate this? Again, and I just want this to get in people's minds. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. It doesn't mean it's ethical. It doesn't mean it's moral. It doesn't mean that it benefits mankind that much. I mean, we haven't even got to the point where people can stop seeing race. We still haven't gotten to the enlightenment point. Right now we're in the ridiculous woke point that is just destructive. More destructive than anything I've ever seen. Wow. So a Reuters article dated November 9, 2009, titled "Scientists Want Debate on Animals with Human Genes," hinted at just how far scientists have come and how far they intend to go. Mad scientists, not just regular scientists, mad scientists. Have y'all ever seen the show Splice? The movie, not the show. There's a movie called Splice where they spliced a human DNA. The mad scientists with their own, I think the female scientist used her own egg and I don't know if she used part of her husband's DNA or not, but she spliced herself with several different creatures. So it's really amazingly scary. So just how far scientists have come and how far they intend to go. Mad scientists. The news piece started out, a mouse that can speak. A mouse that can speak? Yeah, that's how I should have said it. A monkey with Down syndrome? Dogs with human hands or feet? Oh my Lord, can you imagine? British scientists want to know if such experiments are acceptable. You've really lost your mind if you think that's acceptable. Lost your mind. You are Cocoa Puff treading. You are. You're crazy. You are crazy, and we all know it, and no one seems to be able to stop you because of the insane powers that be. And it's terrible. We need to stop it. And it continued with revelations that scientists inside Britain are comfortable now with up to 50-50 animal-human integration. Sweet Tooth on Netflix. Check that out. We're going to see those people, these human-animal hybrids. We'll be seeing them. And see, they intend to make these superhuman soldiers, superhuman, with things that animals can do. Radar like in bats, amazing hearing, maybe even humans with claws, who knows. They want superhuman warriors. The article implied that not all the research currently under design is kept at the embryonic level. Okay, let me say that again. Not all the research currently under design, not all of it is kept at the embryonic level. What does that imply? That they allow the embryos that are thriving to mature. Some of these things you see online with these animal frog hybrids, animal pig hybrids, animal this, animal that hybrid, human hybrid, they're actually real. And that fully mature monstrosities like the creature in the 2010 movie Splice may be under study, as some scientists in some places want to push boundaries. So somewhere, I heard a long time ago, somewhere underground, way down deep underground, there are facilities, and there are human hippo hybrids, human gorilla hybrids, human orangutan hybrids, human all kinds of hybrids kept in rooms their whole lives. And I imagine some of them have escaped and are out in the world, and we think we've seen Bigfoot, or we think we've seen a flying man or angel and all these different things, and I think that they are coming from there. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. God help me. God help us all. Let me be wrong, but yeah. National Geographic magazine speculated in 2007 that within 10 years, the first of such human animals would walk the earth, and Werner Wenge agreed recently that we are entering that period in history when questions like, what is the meaning of life, will be nothing more than an engineering question. Most readers may be surprised to learn that in preparation of this post-human revolution, the United States government, through the National Institute of Health, recently granted Case Law School in Cleveland $773,000 of American taxpayers' money to begin developing the actual guidelines that will be used for setting government policy on the next step in human evolution: genetic enhancement. And I thought tattoos were enhancing. Now, genetic enhancement. Maxwell Mellman, author E. Purtisledge, professor of law. Hold on. Okay. So Maxwell Mellman, Arthur E. Purtisledge, these names I tell you. Peter Siegel, professor of law. Maybe if you know how to pronounce this guy's name, please tell me. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm trying. Sigil. Peter Siegel, whatever. Professor of law, director of the Law Medicine Center at the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, and professor of bioethics in the Case School of Medicine, led the team of law professors, physicians, and bioethicists over the 2-year project to develop standards for tests on human subjects in research that involves the use of genetic technologies to enhance normal individuals. Following the initial study, Mellman began offering 2 university lectures: Directed Evolution, Public Policy and Human Enhancement, and Trans-Humanism in the Future of Democracy, addressing the need for society to comprehend how emerging fields of science will, in approaching years, alter what it means to be human, and what this means to democracy, individual rights, free will, eugenics, and equality. See, because they want to get that thing in everybody's head. So we be ye human, transgender, transhuman, transspecies, transplant, synthetic species. They want to be able to track you all. It doesn't matter. They want everybody the same, because like they were talking about, having that super hive mind, and which really takes away your free will. You have no more free will, because everything is a drone society, everything is an ant colony or a beehive where everybody has the thing that they will be told to do and they must do for the benefit of the hive. Just like the Borgs, the cyborgs, the Borgs. Other law schools, including Stanford and Oxford, are now hosting similar annual human enhancement and technology conferences where transhumanists, futurists, bioethicists, and legal scholars are busying themselves with the ethical, legal, and inevitable ramifications of post-humanity. I don't even know why they even bother having any kind of bioethics or ethics or morality or any of that, because obviously you just want them to say, oh, it's no big deal. No big deal. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Do it. Why even have that? You know it's ethically wrong. You know it's morally wrong. You know it's wrong. It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Again, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What do we have? Knowledge. Are you going to use the knowledge for good or evil? And that's what we're having right now. It's a problem with that. We're having evil, 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 and we're being surrounded by it. Alright, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening, and if you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe and share all over the place. People need to know where all this is coming from, and this is part of it. Alright, blessings.